Good evening and welcome to Warhammer Wednesdays and Once Upon a Time in the Old World. I am your GM Jim and this is my party of foolhardy freaks.
Hi, I'm Roger. I'm playing Johann von Erfinder, the human student engineer.
Hi, I'm Aaron, and I'm playing Hagen Ritter von Delbers, the adventuring knight to the Order of the White Wolf, human, and I did not spend any experience this week.
Hi, I'm Kevin. I'm playing Gerhardt, who's a human wizard, and I also didn't spend my experience this week.
Hi, I'm Colin. I'm playing Colin Redemacher, the human thug with greater dreams, but also no experience spent this week.
Hi all, I'm playing Ilmarin, the elven diplomat envoy, and apparently I have not spent any XP and I've got enough to change race according to Jim, so it could be Ilmarin the dwarf soon, we don't know.
Hoarding experience, I believe. That's
glue
the
a
phrase.
beard on.
So how much
Brilliant,
experience do you need to change race?
Glue a beard on, walk around with your knees in your boots.
It's easily the amount that Dan has, but perhaps we could gift the experience that Dan hasn't spent to Garblag Pete, so he can use his experience to get the overlay correct for Kevin, who's looking rather dejected at the moment because he's still an apprentice. We love you, really, Pete. Okie dokie. So, if you joined us last week, you'll know that the last episode was a bit of a shopping session for a bit of a what would you call it? A bit of a trip away, so to speak, with the Lady Nact. Now, Johann wasn't present because he was busy working with other engineers in a certain engineering way that only engineers do. Locked away with a Mohican, a welding torch that he's put together from his necklace, and some 4x2. Other than that, the rest of the party went shopping, lost a little bit of gold to pickpocketing, and brought heinous amounts of armour. Now, I believe at the end of the last session, everybody was back at the Red Moon Inn, apart from
half the 2/3 of the party, I think.
That's right. So everybody went back to the Red Moon Inn, where the dwarf and the elf and the young lady rogue, who has aspirations to become something else, had found a very nice looking box in the underneath the temple of Ulrich that turned out to hold something very, very sort of I don't know. It wasn't very frightening. It was some green glowing rock, so it could obviously been made into some, I don't know, earrings or necklaces or rings or something, yeah, to help you see in the dark, yeah. So the dwarf, the rogue, and the elf took it back for the wizard to have a look at.
The dwarf suggested we took it back to the wizard. When the elf saw it, he went, "What the hell are you doing? We're taking that to the temple of
the
temple of Sigmar right the hell now."
Yes.
Yeah. Indeed, and as Yusarian put it, it's a perfectly innocent nugget of purest green. Indeed, so I mean, it's got to be worth something, isn't it? I mean, emerald's worth something, so surely glowing emerald is supposed to be worth something. So, I believe the three companions left to go back to some temple to get rid of this glowing green rock. And as they leave the inn, coming down the road to the inn is a very dirty looking Johann. He looks like he's dipped his face in pure black grease and sort of tried to wipe it off, and all his fingernails are like covered, in the inside and all ingrained into his hands But you can't see that, of course, because he's a little bit too far away. But he's very dirty anyway. Yeah, and he smells of oil.
Oh, Johan. No. What happened to you?
I've been busy.
That's evident. We haven't seen you. Actually, I'm quite surprised. We didn't even check in on you. What have you been doing?
Well, we need to get things ready for what we're doing, don't we? I'll say, kind of glancing around to make sure no one's listening.
Yeah, and then Warren goes, "We did," and points at his now new shiny mail, which you can see under his lovely, like, elven jerk over the top of it.
I would have been much
Johan,
better if
without
you said,
thinking, will just
"We
kind of
did,"
touch
and
the
open it up.
chainmail, just instinctively putting his dirty fingers straight on the new shiny mail.
Do you know how long it took me to clean that to get it shiny?
Probably not too long. You don't want to keep it too clean. You need a bit of the oil on there.
No.
Helps keep the rust off.
Have you ever seen an elven army marching in lockstep? It's beautiful and it's shiny. This is no longer shiny.
We don't get many elven armies marching through the Empire.
Valid point. But it's not shiny anymore. I'm going to have to re-shine it now. Thank you.
Doesn't look too bad, though. I'll say, kind of removing my fingers.
God,
From
you
where?
smell almost as bad as the fish stew.
It's a smell of technology.
It's a smell of someone who needs a bath.
Where do you think I'm heading?
That's a good idea. We're going to the Temple of Sigmar to dispose of this, and he shows in the box but doesn't open it.
What is it?
If I told you and showed you, I'd have to kill you.
You know what? I don't want to know. And then Johan just walks past to the tavern.
I was only joking, Johan. Johan. Yeah. Oh, he's gone. He's gone. Go on then, Carolyn. Go on then, Mordek. Let's go give this to the Temple of Sigmar. They can deal with this.
You turn round and Mordek's not there anymore. He looks like, as you were talking to Johan, he may have had a bit of a go back to the tavern.
Bloody dwarf. Lumbers us with this problem. Great. Excellent.
Fine.
I didn't even find this damn thing. You're staying with me, Carolyn, because if I walk in on my own, they're going to accuse me of chaos worshipping
We're
or whatever.
going back to the temples anyway. I want to go that way anyway.
That's good,
I'm
because
not disappearing off.
this town has been less than pleasurable towards me as an elf.
Come on.
I'm not being
Let's
accused
go
of
get
chaos
rid of that
worshipping.
stuff so we don't get accused of anything.
That's a good idea. Let's go. And you almost see like Iman has almost a light skip in his step. He seems to be in an awfully jovial mood.
So Ilmarin and Carolyn go. Which temple are you going to?
Sigmar.
Be precise?
Sigmar.
Okay, you get
The
okay, you
big
go to
temple of
Sigmar
Sigmar.
Church.
We are not going to take it to the Ulvik temple that gave it to us because he clearly doesn't know what he's doing.
No. Okay, so the door is slightly ajar. It is quite late at night, so it's not fully ajar. It's slightly ajar, and there seems to be a young sort of acolyte come priest sort of stood at the door, sort of just keeping watch, dangerous times and all that. You never know what might be brought into the temple.
Yeah, exactly. All kinds of unpleasant things might be about to walk through the door. Okay, yeah. Well, Carolyn will walk up and greet him.
Okay. Can I help you, friends? You come to pray?
Ilmarin makes the sign of the twin tail comet. Terribly, though. He probably doesn't do it right.
We've come to you with something was found under the Temple of Ulrich, which we think best delivered here to be disposed of.
Okay.
Do you have anyone?
Like me to go and get this? Yeah. Would you like me to go and get the senior priest?
I think that would be a good idea. Yeah.
Okay. He goes in. The door is still ajar. he sort of, for some reason, trusts you at the door. Okay,
I'm going to
after
stay at the
about-
door for the moment, because walking into the temple carrying this thing, I don't know what's supposed to happen with it. If we walk into the temple carrying chaos stuff, they might get upset.
Okay, so you hear a clunk, clunk, swing, clunk, clunk, swing, and eventually this really old priest gets to the door, and he's sort of on two crutches, yeah? And he's got one leg, the other one's been removed just underneath the groin area. And the crutches are made to look like hammers, big hammers, yeah.
Nice.
And he's got his head shaved on the very top, but most of his hair and his beard sort of along, yeah, but except for this big bald patch on the top here. Can I help you?
I hope so.
Priest,
Is
do you know what this is? And he like gently opens like the box, only ever so slightly, so there's a little slight green glow coming out.
And then closes it again?
Mars teeth! Ugh.
I judge from your reaction, you know exactly what this is and why it needs to be destroyed.
That, my elven friend, is something called warpstone. Yes,
I'm well aware.
it is. It is very dangerous. Yes, and I know that your race are very ignorant towards these kind of things, but it is very, very dangerous. Yes, I would get rid of that within as quick as you can.
This
why
is
we
You'll
give it
need
to you.
someone with power, but yes.
This is why we came to you. We hoped you would be able to dispose of it, because we don't have the ability
Means
to
or
do
capacity.
so. Yeah, that.
I could attempt to, but it's been a long time since I was able to cast such prayers and battle hymns that could deal with this. No, you need someone a little bit more younger than I.
Well, congratulations. Here you go. I'm sure the temples of Sigmar can handle this from here on out.
So Ilmarin, you put it forward towards him, and then you suddenly realise that he's holding on to his two crutches.
And I slightly tuck it into his arm.
He hasn't got any armour, but some kind soul looks like to have knitted him some silver sort of pyjamas that look like a suit of
Woolen
chainmail.
chainmail pyjamas.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I
Yeah.
sort of tuck it into that and go, Temple of Sigmar is probably the best bet to destroy this.
Yeah.
Not us lackeys who don't know anything about it. Isn't that right, Carolyn? He kind of elbow nudges Carolyn to agree.
I didn't even know what it was until you lot told me, so...
Exactly, see? So I think it's best left in your care, priest. Father. Oh, God, he's having a terrible coughing fit. So...
Could have done that in character. would have suited the priest.
I think he's having a conversation with someone off screen. Which you also could have...
Inconveniences of family.
Which you also could have done as the priest, and, just be...
Yeah, we would have just thought he was mad.
just being slightly crazy.
Hey, did you know if you use warpstone while using magic, you double your success level? Just
And double your corruption.
I was going to say, yeah.
So,
It's also significant downsides.
little plus, a little minus.
Yeah, if you suddenly start going, run, flee.
So when he goes, oh, this is great for magic, and suddenly tentacle.
Oh, now
that
I
could
see
happen
the
anyway.
downside.
I mean,
Yeah.
Oh, sorry about that. I just had a problem with a cat. That's all.
These things happen.
Wouldn't be the internet without
Yeah.
cats.
Absolutely.
These things
I'm not a
happen.
cat,
Okay.
Joanna. I'm a human being.
you have a
Yeah.
higher chance of miscast, but only on a roll of an 8.
So he pulls these sort of broken glasses out of his sort of pocket in his pajamas by his sort of long sort of knitted nightshirt, and the pocket has quite an ornate hammer knitted into it. It's quite smart, really. Other than it smells of wee. And he sort of puts his glasses on. Yeah, let me just have another peek at said warpstone.
Ilmarin takes about 5 steps backwards.
Yes, that is something called warpstone. It is incredibly dangerous, and yes, you definitely need to get that taken somewhere. You need someone with a certain amount of power to get rid of that. Yeah, indeed.
Yes, that's right. That's why I brought to you the Temple of Sigmar. We've just had this conversation. What's going on?
Well, I seem to be, me and young Jiminy, we're the only people within the hallowed halls at the moment. There are things foul things going on at the moment, and my brothers are out seeking to put them to a stop.
That's what I like about you, Temple People of Sigmar. Always action. So what you should do is lock that in a cabinet inside, and then tell your brothers when they get back they need to destroy
Lock
it.
what into a cabinet, my elven friend?
I'm going to address the acolyte. Would you see that box is secured somewhere, so that when you're more
able.
Father Imrod said it was very dangerous and you should get it destroyed.
Yes, that's your job, the Temple of Sigmar.
What's very dangerous? What what's dangerous, you say?
Good night, Priest of Sigmar. It was nice to talk with you.
Yeah, come on in, Jiminy, and they just shut the door. The sort of box is left there on the floor.
They've left it there on the doorstep.
I put it in his vestments. He can't put it on the floor.
It's quite a big box.
You are very determined that we cannot get rid of this, aren't
Pajamas
you?
down and rammed it down there. Yeah,
How is the door like locked?
Throw it through the window.
No, it's open. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Ilmarin kind of slides the box through the door and he just walks off. Ilmarin's having nothing to do with this. He's absolutely not having anything more to do with chaos. He's done with chaos.
Okay.
Caroline, run! Slide knock down Ginger.
I'm not just leaving this stuff here tucked inside an unlocked
It's inside
door.
the Temple of Sigmar. If chaos is not safe there, where is it safe?
You saw what happened in the hallowed temple of Ulwick.
Yeah, but those guys are a bit nuts, aren't they? You saw that Magdar guy.
She's going to pick it up and enter the temple.
Okay, cool. And
Ilmarin leaves. Fine. Yeah.
Ilmarin leaves. Ilmarin literally wants nothing to do with chaos. He's had too much chaos in his life, and he's an elf, and chaos and elves do not go. No, that's it. He's done.
Yeah.
I'm sure chaos goes with anyone.
Hello, my dear. How can I help you?
I think I just need to speak to your acolyte for a moment, if you'd be so. If you don't mind.
Jiminy, he's just getting me a drink. Would you like a drink?
Yeah, that would be lovely.
Would you like water, or would you like mead, or I'm sure there's some old ale in the back there. Me, myself, I only drink water because, the ale and the mead, they do evil things to man. They force them into a direction that they don't know they're going.
Cowlin did not follow that, and is quite glad. She just kind of smiles and nods and waits for the person who can actually retain a thought in their head for more than 3 seconds.
He
to come
comes
back.
out with a a sort of wooden goblet, and he gives it to the high priest, who sort of chunters about some rabbit or something and starts guzzling his water. Big-eared swines.
I'm going to see if I can lead the acolyte a little bit away so we can have a more quiet conversation between the two of us.
You're going to try and lead the acolyte astray?
No.
Okay.
Just
And
a
then
few steps
while
away
the-
so that we can have the conversation without being constantly interrupted by someone who's already forgotten that I exist.
Can I help you, madam?
I'm just kind of holding this chest up. We do not have any means to secure this, or destroy it, or dispose of it. I need to ask you to secure it within the temple, such that when your brothers return who are capable of dealing with it, they can destroy it. We don't have any way of dealing with it. If we carry it out, if we take it out there, there's every chance it's going to get stolen from us.
I'm not like trying to divert from duty, sir, madam, but there's only myself and the High Father. Well, but we could take it, but bad things have happened in the Temple of Ulrich lately, and most of the people that look after us in a physical way are out of the city at the moment, sir, madam.
I know bad things have been happening.
You could leave it here, madam, but I could. Well, I'll be responsible for it. You can trust me with it, madam.
Good. Because it's a better option than any of the others I've got right now.
Oh, okay. So he takes the book from you. The box from you, sorry.
Box.
Book. And he immediately opens it to see what's
I
inside.
slam it. I slam it as he goes to open it.
Oh!
It is.
No need for that.
It is, as I've been told, very, very dangerous, to the point where no one else I've been travelling with even wants to be in its presence.
Okay, well, okay, leave
Keep
it
it
with me.
locked.
I'll
Keep it
look
shut.
after it. Yeah. It'll be safe from me.
Not with from. We say from me. Yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah, something like that. Right. Okay, that's one thing not dealt with very well, but hey.
Suddenly a head pokes through the door. Come on, Karen. Just leave it. Come on. You've left it. Come on.
I'll leave that.
We'll look after it, Mr. Elf.
Good. I trust you guys are Sigmar and you gods.
And I'm going to head back. I'm heading back out. The place I wanted to go was to the Temple of Ulrich, because I was going to be taking part in this vigil to try and hopefully reconsecrate it.
Okay.
Are there any of the city guard around?
Yeah, there are a few, but most of it seems quite empty within the actual city, like urban sites, really. But you have heard rumours of things going on outside, and perhaps a lot of them have been drawn to the walls and to the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am going to see if I can get I'm going to see if I can persuade one of them, possibly with the extra persuasive power of a coin or two, to get a message to the lady's lawyer, whose name has momentarily escaped me, OC.
Von Gebel.
Von Gebel, thank you. To please find me at the Temple of Ulrich at his earliest possible convenience. There is something very, very important that I need to talk to him about.
Okay.
I will offer some.
I think that's the best idea yet there, Roger. Hiding it in the fish stew. You could even disguise it as a potato.
No one would notice.
Nobody's ever eaten it either, right?
Exactly. It's perfectly safe in there. No one goes near it.
Okay. Yeah. And yeah.
Okay. So you get.
And then I'm going to go to the Temple of Ulrich and hope that things will resolve themselves, because there's a limit to what I have the ability to deal with.
Okay. So you go to the Temple of Ulrich and you find your young friend there, and you join him in the consecration rituals that are needed. Elmarim, are you going back to the inn?
He would first gentlemanly escort Carolyn to the Temple of Ulrich. Probably knowing full well that Carolyn's actually much more capable than he is. But it seems like the right thing to do. Yeah, seems like the right thing to do. So Marin starts, and he's kind of just pestering her with silly facts about Warpstone and the things these elves know about chaos and all things like that.
I'm going to ask him to stop talking about Warpstone before someone hears us.
And then Marin goes, "Well, have a nice evening doing whatever you're doing. I don't even know what you're doing. What are you doing?"
Trying to reconsecrate the temple.
Oh, because of all the on the walls.
That.
Okay. Are your gods so weak they're unable to come back to their holy place if it's desecrated? Just an honest question. I don't know.
I honestly have no idea, but if I can help, then I'm going to try and help.
That's a good idea. Stemming chaos wherever we can find it. Well, we did good work tonight, and you carry on doing your thing. I'm going to go back to the tavern and see what the rest of the group are doing. And Ilmarin skips off into the town. He looks even more jovial than he did when we were walking back towards the temple. Almost like a weight has been lifted off his shoulders.
Yeah. Because you just dropped it all on Carolyn.
And Ilmarin skips off through the town towards the tavern.
Yeah, so you get back to the tavern where you find Johan and Hagen and Gerhardt. I believe you were back at the tavern as well.
I was still reading because they all.
Yes, you
So I
were.
was like,
you were at the
I'll just stay here, and no one disputed.
Yeah, you were.
Whenever the guy kicked me out, I would have come back.
Oh no, he's sort of happy for you to stay there so he can come and visit you in the middle of the night. And he's got quite a nice dagger. No, he's quite. Yeah, you're very welcome to stay and read downstairs in the cellar.
And my 5 silvers worth or whatever it was.
Yeah. Johan, you find Hagen downstairs, and he's looks like he's with, but he looks more like he's being pestered by Gunther and Franz.
Well, seeing him back on his feet, Johan will kind of smile to himself before first things first upon arriving, getting a bath.
And Hagen looks up and waves, but then you see him kind of clutch his ribs. He's like, "Well met, my friend.
Good to see you back up."
Well, I'm half up. Let's put it that way. I'm looking forward to a good night's rest still, but I'll get there. You have a fruitful day?
Busy, very productive. Made a lot of good progress on some new designs I've been working on.
Wonderful. I'll be looking forward to putting the city behind us shortly, at least for a while.
Yeah.
It's been a bit rougher than I expected.
Yes. I was expecting things to be slightly more jovial.
It's definitely not Altdorf, that's for sure.
I miss taverns where you don't get stabbed by people.
Or temples where you don't get almost murdered by a pack of rat-like beastmen.
Yeah. There not being beastmen is definitely a good thing. Really, the sewer jacks need to up their game here.
Fact. I'll let you get onto your bath, though. I see that you've got purpose.
I'm going to kind of my bag of bits to my room, put that down, and then come down and organise a bath, and ale and food.
Okay. Yeah, Ilmarin wanders in as well. He gets back from where he's been.
I'm guessing that'll be after when I come out of my bath.
Yeah. Franz walks over and speaks to Ilmarin and says, "There's a couple of pigeons come back. Did you send? I believe you sent some, didn't you?"
I did indeed. I sent some messages to my parents in Altdorf.
Mm-hmm.
There's some messages.
Yeah, there's some little rolled up pieces of paper that are tucked into the pigeon's leg.
Oh, cute.
Okay.
Humans have really fun ways of sending messages.
Okay, and yeah, you open it up. They ask you how you are and if you're behaving yourself, and have you found anything new from human culture, and how have you been looking after the lady? Have you been, if you got yourself some nice clothes, make sure that you're not a mess, so you're washing yourself regular and things like this. And they mention a name that you sent them, who I believe was Nagash. And your father describes him as a ancient necromancer of myth, one who has not been seen for a long time, an age. But the other name that you gave him, which was Maglith, he has no. It rings a bell, but he can't put his finger on where he's heard it, and he definitely doesn't know it from an old elf or anything like that.
Well, I will be relaying that to the group later, but I shall roll it up, and I'll probably write a reply saying how I'm doing, and probably skipping out the whole Slanesh encounter, because that would, even though I'm probably not their favourite of their children, it probably would worry them slightly.
Bought myself this signet ring with this big green glowing piece of rock on it. Yeah.
Yeah, they would definitely be concerned for my well-being, and probably send some elven guards to drag me back to Altdorf if they knew what I'd been involved in. So I won't mention that, but I'll just send a missive thanking him for the information, and should he hear any more, then grateful for any more assistance they could provide us. And just tell them I'm doing well and I'm keeping myself well groomed despite being in amongst humans, and they're not so well groomed, and usual bits and pieces.
Okay. So yeah, the night goes on without incident for a change. Gunter falls asleep with one hand in the fish and potato stew that's out on the table. Franz seems to disappear to his quarters, and with the door locked, you're sort of left to get yourselves to bed or just sit drinking downstairs for a little bit longer.
Hagen makes his way up to bed. He's still beat up and needs to get a good night's sleep if possible.
Okay.
Ilmarin helps him up. And while Ilmarin's helping him up, he's in a rather jovial mood. And he was like, I believe you saying humans have a saying something about a ship magnet. Is that a thing, Hagen?
Aye, Elmarin, that is a thing, and we are indeed.
Well, I would like to state that you are the common denominator in all of this that's been going on. I wasn't at the Temple of Ulrich, and he's just doing this as he got up the stairs. I wasn't at the. What was it you fought in the basement? Anyway, I keep hearing beastmen.
I don't. To be honest, I've never seen the like. They were shaped like rats, but stood upon two legs. They were.
Did you say rats?
Covered in fur with glowing green eyes. I fought off at least 6 or 8 before one took me down with an arrow.
Did you say rats?
They were rats. They were big. They were my size and vicious teeth and glowing green eyes.
And they jump about this far? This far? Did they jump that far? Did they jump?
They did jump. They jumped across a crevasse to get at me, and they had whipping, sinuous tails and foul breath. They were fast and sneaky and quiet.
Yeah, that wasn't beastmen you fought. Yeah, they're called Skaven.
What do you mean? No, those are myth. Those are myth, my friend. Everyone knows they're myth.
So then we're now going to start debating the. But how can you call them myth? You literally saw them.
Well,
surely your eyes don't betray you that much.
You know, Elmarin, I hesitate to say this out loud, but that was my initial thought too. These are Skaven, but I've always been told my whole life that they were a myth. And literally days, weeks ago, we were in the Chaos Realm of Selesh. I mean, anything can happen, right? You make a valid point, my friend. All right, so Skaven, they were Skaven then.
They were Skaven, absolutely. Also, the elves are very well aware of Skaven. They like to burrow underground. Ask the dwarf about them. The dwarf will know lots about Skaven. The dwarfs and Skaven have been fighting for the undergrounds for years.
Where did Mordek get off to anyway?
Oh, I don't know. He's probably propping up a bar somewhere.
Good point.
We'll see him at some point. He's probably smashed a barrel over someone's head again.
Well, I'm not strong enough tonight to stop it if it happens.
No. And I think you should rest up. You fought 8 Skaven. Well done. In fact, you're quite lucky because they normally travel in much larger numbers than that.
I'm going to be honest with you. If it hadn't been for the narrowness of that corridor, they would have overwhelmed me. But fortunately, they can only come at me one at a time. It's a weakness in my fighting style that I'm going to have to address sooner rather than later.
Well, isn't that how the dwarfs and the humans, who when they finally first allied, isn't that how they beat the orcs in that like mountain pass?
Aye.
See, so sometimes superior skill in a narrow frontage. That's how the elves have to fight. We were always outnumbered. There's not many of us left.
If you can choose your terrain, but I fear the day when the terrain is chosen for us.
It's true. At that point, sometimes
always choose your own terrain.
Yeah. And then Ilmarin kind of realizes that you're probably sitting in the bed by now, and Ilmarin doesn't really need to sleep that much. He's like, I've probably got to let you rest. Have a good night's sleep.
Thank you, Ilmarin.
And Ilmarin closes the door as he walks out.
I just say as he goes out, I'm like, keep an ear open just in case any more Skaven decide to come at us tonight.
Oh, it's okay. We left the green stone at the temple. If they're going anywhere, they're going there.
Fair enough. May Ulrich bless you.
Eventually, Johan will finish tinkering with all of the various bits and pieces he has already brought back in a bag and head up to bed.
Okay, you all go to bed, and it seems,
Sleep is for those who aren't trying to reconsecrate the temple.
So you finish these rituals in the indeed small hours, and the initiate offers you a blanket, and he sort of rolls up one blanket, rolls up another, gives it to you for a pillow, and he puts it down for his pillow, and we'll finish off in the morning.
As you think's best. You know more about this than I do.
And he sort of lies down on the cold stone floor.
Karen's going to stick her head out the door because she's Von Gebel's not.
Make me a perception check, please.
Sure, I'll go and fail a perception check for you.
Confidence high.
My perception skill is 24.
Believe.
But what's your rolling skill?
So yeah,
So
I'll
in
fail
the
a perception
chat,
check for you.
In the chat, probably one of the coolest names I've ever heard of. Texas is my homeboy that stated that an elf never truly is outnumbered. Ilmarin. So there you go. Yeah. Okay. So
Have a failed
you
perception
open the
check.
door, and you almost see someone running around the corner, but it could have been a cat or something.
I'm tired. Clearly. I'm tired and I took a blow to the head that I haven't fully recovered from, so, clearly there's no one really out there. Okay. Going back to sleep. I'm going back in. Going to get some rest.
Okay.
You're gonna lock the door, right?
Does it even have a lock on the temple door?
It has a sort of a block of wood that goes on the inside of the door, but I can't remember what they're called now. The bits behind the door that it slots into, the slots, they've not been fitted to the door yet, as the original doors have been smashed in.
So the answer is not really. Cool. Is Carolyn feeling particularly paranoid? Given all that's been going on recently, I think she is feeling paranoid, but I don't know whether she's feeling more paranoid of something coming out from deeper in the temple or coming in from outside.
Or both.
Or both. So, to be honest, she's probably going to go and make sure that gate is secured, that trapdoor is secured, and then put something heavy on top of it. And then
As you enter that bedroom, there is a bit of a state, and things seem to have been put in here while they clean up the main worship area. You hear a clunk over by the trapdoor.
I'm going to put something heavy on the trapdoor.
Okay. You could arch the bed over and put that on there.
In fact, you know what? I'm going to sleep on the bed, on the trapdoor. Nothing is coming out through there without waking me up.
Cool. So you pull the bed over, and as you pull the bed over, this cat jumps out from behind the bed. Yeah, with a and you sort of are startled by this cat who sort of runs out into the main temple and then out through the door that isn't really locked.
Yeah, fine.
Okay, and you get into bed.
And I'm going to make sure nothing comes and attacks us from under this trapdoor.
Okay, so you sleep fitfully through the night.
The remainder of the night.
Yeah. Make me a perception test, please.
Okay. Slightly better than last time. 84 rather than 86.
Okay. Okay, yeah, you
I failed spectacularly
sleep through the night. Okay. Okay, yeah. You awake in the morning. Everything's fine.
Everything is totally fine. Yeah, okay. Maybe I was just imagining that noise from under the trapdoor.
And as you go into the main temple, the initiate is he seems to be finishing things off, and he's got a big grin on his face. And good morning, my lady. It's always a pleasure to see you.
I slept through you finishing it off, didn't I?
You did. I finished off while you were asleep. Yes.
Fine. How's it gone?
Very good.
Great. About time I had some good news.
Yeah, it went well. It went well. Yes. Yes, it was good. It was a good session. What are your plans for today, my lady?
I don't know. I've got a lot of things I think I need to do.
Okay.
And probably not enough time to do them all. So don't suppose anyone turned up overnight while I was asleep.
No, not that I know to. I just got up in the morning and yeah, finished off and yeah, and you're awake now.
Okay, fine. And I'm going to head up first to the house of the lady now. I need to talk to a lawyer. If he turns up here, can you tell him that's where I've headed?
Yeah, indeed I can. Yeah.
Thanks.
So you're going back to the... Do you want me to tell him to meet you, madam?
I'm going to head back up. I'm going to head up to her household, and then I'm going to probably come back here, I think. So, if he turns up here, probably if he just waits here, I'll come back.
Okay.
Sense.
No problem, madam. Well...
You don't really need to call me that. I don't know. Anyway, yes.
Well, I do appreciate what you did last night, madam, and it was true. It was truly enlightening, and it was a really nice experience.
Sure. Not
Come
entirely.
back soon.
Yeah, I'll be back in a bit. And yes, she is going to head up to the household. See if she can find Von Gebel.
Okay. So you head up to the lady's household. You knock on the door, and you are greeted at the door by the guards captain, who is called Ingrada Muller.
I'm going to call her captain because
she's quite a well-built lady.
Yep.
Yeah, she looks like she can answer.
There's a brief moment of surprise because that was, of all the faces, that was not one I was expecting to see answering the door.
And she looks behind her. Would you like to come in, Karen?
Thank you, Captain.
And she stands aside and she shuts the door behind her. There was a few strange things happening last night. A few of my men. There were a few things making attempts to get a foothold within Ubersreik at the moment. The Bretonian army with the Jungfreuds are definitely close by now. We are guessing that there are a number of scouts, assassins, and they're like within the city walls at the moment that have disguised themselves as peasants and traders and merchants
Tillians?
and things. Possibly Tillians.
We had a couple
you
of
know,
Tillians following us around.
Okay.
Well,
That could
people
be,
claiming to be
worth it.
Tillians. I have no idea. I've never been to Tillia. They could.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, but we haven't seen Van Gebel for a couple of nights, so
Well, shit.
we're not sure. Yeah, but we really ought to bring our plan forward.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I'll
I
talk
would
to the
be
others.
suggesting. Yeah, I would be suggesting tonight at the latest.
Great. Okay.
I'll talk to Franz and Gunter directly.
I'm going to leave a message with you then if you can't find Van Gebel. I was really hoping to find Van Gebel, but if he hasn't shown up, I'll leave a message with you.
Okay.
Under the Temple of Ulrich, where some, I don't know, chaos cultist beastkin monsters were, Hagen killed most of them and I finished the last one off. The acolyte of Ulrich found a chest containing what Mordek and Ilmarin agree is warpstone, which I don't know anything about except that it is apparently bad and chaos. We have left
I've never heard of it, to be fair.
Well, neither would I. We've left it in the care of the Temple of Sigmar, but that appears to consist at the moment of an old man who
Ripped back, yeah.
doesn't have enough.
Yeah. Yeah, there
isn't enough of him left to remember a conversation for
No.
more than a minute, and a lad younger than the acolyte of Ulrich.
So you kept hold of it, yeah?
No, we left it in the temple because it seemed like a better place than with a bunch of people who are planning to do stupid and dangerous things.
Well, like I said, with what we think's going on in Ubersreik at the moment, it's probably not the safest place to have left it.
I don't know where the safest place is. Probably, I don't know.
With us?
Probably the safest place in Ubersreik could be Altdorf right now.
Well, we could always look after it.
Sure. If you think that's
Get
better,
it.
then...
Yeah. Well, I don't know really, to be perfectly fair. What is this warpstone? Chaos, you say?
Something magical and chaos. I don't really know. The elf wanted to be as far away from it as possible, and partly because he didn't want to be accused of trafficking in the stuff. I kind of thought that Von Gebel should know about it, because...
Yeah, well, he's following up on something to do with that Slinvold cult of some form, chaotic cult. And if that's operating within the city walls, then again, if this thing is well, can you build things out of it?
You are asking completely the wrong person.
Okay.
I literally know. I have some knowledge of how to make stuff out of steel, but seriously, I've never seen that stuff before.
Well,
I don't think I want to know what you
we have the lady and her lady in waiting, ready to leave. We just need the coach now, and we need to get her in there. We're going to have to go out of the north gate because obviously from the south is like, well, we're hoping we're going to be safe out the north gate, but I would have thought with the people that you have with you and
the south gate's
Von
running straight
Gebel's-
into the north gate's away from the Bretonians, right?
Yeah, absolutely, yes, yeah.
Awesome, great. Away from the Bretonians sounds like probably a good thing. I guess we'll see who expects us to be heading that way. But we're well, we'll see. Right, so do you want to either come down to the Temple of Ulrich now, or send a couple of people you trust down to the Temple of Ulrich now with me to collect the chest, assuming it's still there, so that it can be...
Did you not get some of your fellows to help? I wouldn't want to leave the ladies' side for as long as I needed. They've got some guys here, but...
Okay,
yeah,
sure, we'll do
that. I've got some
Fine.
6 good men, but yeah.
You want to make sure she's okay, sure.
Absolutely.
Whatever.
Yeah,
Where should I take it? Where should we bring it? Here?
We can always get it away from here and then dig a big hole and put it in it. And then bury it again.
I don't know. We are... So... I'm trying to remember what the plans were. The plans were for us to head out and then double back.
I don't think
I
we
believe
can
it
do
was.
that anymore.
We've not got any time for that, do we?
No. Things have had to change.
Yeah, okay. So we're
All
just...
I can assure you is that the lady is fully aware of what's going on, and she's a willing accomplice to it.
Well, that's better than the original plan, I think. So... Yeah, I have no idea what to do with this thing. Yeah, seriously. I know you've got your hands full and trying to deal with everything, but our options are leave it with you or take it with the lady.
To the coach. Yeah, why don't you take it to the coach, and then we'll lock it in the coach. I believe your engineer was doing some work to it.
Yeah. I'll see what the others think, because I am not agreeing to that. Given how loudly the elf and the dwarf, mostly the elf, wanted to be as far away from it as possible, as soon as possible.
Elf is always going to say that, though, isn't he? I mean,
yeah. So I'll see what the rest of
So
I'll see what the rest of them say. But I can't. I know nothing about what this is. I cannot promise that we're going to that any of the others think it's a good idea to transport it with us.
We have good old-fashioned old-world armour and old-world steel. Yeah.
Yeah.
What more does one want?
To not have someone doing whatever the hell they can do with that under... I don't know. What happens if it blows up or something, like a damn... Like one of the engineers' contraptions gone wrong.
Are you saying it's a bomb?
I have no idea what it is.
Okay. I'll get the lady ready to move.
Okay.
Early,
We'll assume we're going to be turning up at some point.
Okay.
After midnight.
Okay. I'll see you again soon, Carolyn. Thank you for the information. And she shuts the door.
Cool.
And at that point, we shall have a break for a drink or a toilet break or a bag of sweets or something. But yeah, we will indeed see you back here in 5 minutes. Yeah.
Warpstone chips.
Warpstone popcorn.
Warpstone chips.
Yes.
Hey.
Okay, so yeah,
Make a nice necklace.
we'll see you very soon.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Okay, welcome back to Once Upon a Time in the Old World. I'm your Game Master Jim, and this is my group of party explorers, and we have just been.
I think you were more
Warpstone.
accurate last time when you were saying you called at the beginning of the session where you called us foolhardy adventurers. I think that's far more accurate description.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, so we've just been discussing Warpstone in character and things, and we're going to go back to Carolyn as she leaves the lady's house and goes to retrieve the Warpstone, maybe, or goes to find out a little bit more, maybe.
So her next plan which we don't have to roleplay through, given that I've already taken up a lot of the session so far, is to go back to the Temple of Ulrich briefly and ask about acquiring a holy symbol, because she would like to have one. She was thinking previously that she'd have a look, if she could have a look at one he had, and then she might try and make one, because Ulrich seemed to be all about self-sufficiency and stuff, but that just doesn't seem to be an option right now.
Okay, he meets you and he says, he says he'll just tidy up the mess that you and him made in the priest bed quarters, like with chucking all the pews and things in there, he'll get you a holy symbol, and he does. He fetches you one and gives it to you. Great. Back at the
and then I will head back to the tavern, and these guys have plenty of time to do stuff before I get there.
Excellent, young Kevin, young Gerhardt. You have filled your brain with reading.
Mm-hmm.
You are read up. You are mostly read. You are educated in a reading sort of way.
I've overdone it. I have a book hangover.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go back to the inn once I've realised that it's like the wee small hours. I assume around the time Karen was falling asleep.
You didn't completely overdo it. You didn't soil your trousers or anything while you were reading. You managed to keep control of your bowel movements.
That's relief, because that's not normally how it goes.
So you head back to the tavern, and as you enter the tavern, it's beginning to fill up, and you get that aroma of fresh wooden tables and fish and potato stew, with a little bit of green herb maybe in there.
Coriander?
Could be.
Slightly glowy.
Yeah. No, it doesn't glow. No. It's a leaf sort of plant, yes. Yeah. Stop giving me ideas.
We've not got warpstone stew.
No, you've not got warpstone stew. No.
Yet.
Fish and warpstone potato stew, yes. But yeah, everything looks jovial and friendly, and everybody seems to be in a good mood.
You hadn't said that, Jim. I don't trust it. I don't trust it at all.
No. Nobody seems to be concerned in any way. There's some jollity going on, some laughter. There's no children playing, but everything's fine and dandy on this morning.
Cool.
Ilmarin's badly playing his lute.
Indeed, and there's a couple of fresh-faced halflings singing along to songs that you've never heard of. Yeah, a small group of halflings just seem to magically appear when the lute comes out. And then, hairy feet stamping and, arms entwined and looping going on, And Hagen makes his way down the stairs. He looks like he's making a bit of a meal with it as he sort of walks down the stairs using both banisters. Yeah. But he does look a little bit in a bad way, but yeah.
Oh, Gerhardt. It's good to see you this morning. I still feel like I've been kicked by a mule, but at least I'm standing today.
I kind of wish I hadn't hit the books quite as hard. I don't think I found anything else. Although I did find an interesting synopsis of a local history, but it's not super relevant.
As Ilmarin sees you, Gerhardt! Ilmarin looks genuinely excited to see you. I found out who Nagash is.
Oh?
Yeah, look, and I unroll my little message from my parents. My father says he's a super powerful necromancer of myth and hasn't been seen in years. And when obviously an elf says years, it's like thousands of years.
Probably not great that he's being referenced on walls of tombs then, I guess.
As long as he
Well,
stays dead for 1,000 more years. That's...
Well, I mean, the funny thing about necromancy is that it doesn't always stay dead, right? Isn't that right, Gerhard? Like, dead stuff is not dead when it's necromancy involved.
Well, not if it's an immensely powerful, celebrated, and celebrated is the wrong word here. I'm sorry, I'm very tired.
It's okay. You've got a book hangover. We all get them. You know.
Yeah,
Johan nods as he's screwing something into whatever he's working on.
Stop it, Dan. Yeah, okay. You all noticed, by the way, that Johan looks extremely cleaner than he did last night, but you just noticed the sort of tip of his ear, and beyond it looks like he's got some black grease on his ear. It's obviously where he's just missed, and probably out of the way from sort of looking in the mirror. You probably wouldn't get it. It's just, yeah.
Johan, you missed a bit.
Stop looking.
You've got some grease on your ear.
Oh, I got that. Produce random rag.
Oh,
Yeah, it's quite a large dollop of grease. Yeah.
Ilmarin genuinely looks horrified at how you're treating your ears.
In fact, you do get the rag, and you sort of do put it over your finger and stick it, and you do fetch another significant amount of grease out of each ear as well. You've been ankle deep into this engineering, literally. Yeah.
Stuff gets everywhere.
Does indeed.
It'll all be worth it, though. You'll see.
Yes.
I have no doubt, my friend. Has anyone seen Carolyn or Mordek?
Mordek is probably still propping up a bar somewhere. Carolyn, last time I checked, was at a Temple of Ulrich, reconsecrating it. Apparently, your gods need help kicking out chaos when it turns up.
We all must do our part, Ilmarin.
That's right. And I said that was a good thing.
To kick out chaos.
Exactly. That's another thing I said to Carolyn. So see, I delivered the correct messages. See, I'm learning about you humans.
What chaos needs is more gunpowder. Bigger explosion.
That's always your answer to everything.
I'll leave that.
I remember some of those nights out in
it works.
Mr. Engineer, says one bloke at the bar. Wouldn't
what?
they blow more things up then if they had more gunpowder and explosives?
No, you blow them up. You don't hand them the gunpowder, you use it on them.
Ah, right. So they've got their own gunpowder, but you give them some more and then you blow them up with it.
No, you launch it at them.
Ah, okay. What, throw it or actually launch it?
Mortar shells, Hellblaster volley guns, great cannon, handguns, repeater handguns, Hochland bomb
you've
rifles.
lost me there. You've lost me there, Mr. Engineer.
Glorious Imperial firepower.
Glorious indeed.
And somewhere Mordek gets a shiver up his spine. Oh, the elves don't use gunpowder.
The barrel for a pillow.
Yeah. Elves don't use gunpowder. Rather crude and very,
useful.
Crude. Well, you say useful, but the elves accomplish with bow and string what you accomplish with gunpowder. So, who?
Not going to take down a dragon with a bow.
Well, we wouldn't kill a dragon anyway. Why would you kill a dragon for?
Normally, they're trying to breathe fire at you.
Only if you've upset them.
Apart from the Emperor's dragon. I saw that in the zoo in Aldorf. It was really cool.
What's a zoo?
Yeah, the Emperor has a collection of interesting creatures. Have you ever seen Deathclaw? Oh, that's impressive.
What's a Deathclaw?
A griffin.
Oh, griffins are rather majestic and wonderful creatures. We have them living in the Anuli Mountains, and the Warden of Tulliaves, he rides one as well. And you say he keeps them?
Well, they're his personal collection. He's been known to ride them into battle.
He has a dragon.
I heard that he rides a sheep into battle as well. Says
I think you're thinking of the moot.
The moot? No, it's definitely a flying sheep, and the Emperor definitely definitely rides one. Apparently, it's called Floggy.
I can't say I saw that in the Imperial Zoo.
Well, anyway,
Oh.
there's no need to kill dragons. They are intelligent beasts who have no reason to harm you, really, unless you upset them, or they're commanded to do by their elven rider.
They can be corrupted, however.
My uncle killed a dragon once.
Ilmarin scoffs at that and then scoffs louder at the following comment. Maybe a hatchling, not a real dragon.
No, it was a real dragon.
How big was it?
Fairly big. Yeah, as big as a house.
Ah, that's a small dragon. It's tiny.
Yeah, but he killed it with his bare hands.
Big
Ilmarin,
guns.
Ilmarin generally starts laughing.
Out of character, very
And
glad
it's-
Mordek isn't here because someone's going to get something smashed on their head like last time.
It's like Ilmarin laughs, but it's like a patronizing laugh. Like as if to say, I don't believe you one bit. You're clearly full of whatever you humans call shit.
Hagen just sort of sighs, leans back, and closes his eyes and wishes that he was still asleep in bed.
No, there's nothing more glorious than a flight of dragons. I once went to Calador, which is the land of dragons, for the elves, and it was
Well,
My
something-
uncle once went to Bretonia.
If you want to see something glorious, you should see a steam tank. Oh, majestic.
Oh, if you want to see something glorious, you should see my uncle's, and his mate just nudges him at that point.
I'd be interested to see if a star dragon's breath would melt the hull of a steam tank. That'd be a spectacle to see, wouldn't it?
Sounds like a scientific experiment.
I don't know any dragon riders though.
Sounds
Sure.
like a fight to me.
Be interesting to see if you could use a dragon's breath to forge metal harder.
Oh, you definitely can.
I
Vol,
need a
they-
dragon.
They quite
He'll
often do
say
that
to
on-
himself, tinkering.
They quite often do that in Vol's Anvil.
It's a Vol's anvil.
Why
Oh,
can't engineers make it hard enough? Why do they need a dragon to help?
Hey, if you can make it even harder, that's all the better.
Oh, okay.
yeah, actually, you would love Vol's Anvil, Johan. If we ever get a chance to go back to Otherone, I'd love you to take you there.
Who's Vol and what's special about his anvil?
Vol is I guess you could call him our engineering god. He's a smithing god, and he uses a big anvil and he creates weapons for the gods.
Ah, a bit like your version of Grugny.
I
That's
can
the
see the
dwarf one, isn't it?
similarity. Yes, I can see the similarities.
Yeah, some of the instructors at the university, they were dwarfs and they spoke about Grugny.
Yeah, I can see the
They
similarity.
didn't mention Vol for some reason.
I
They
once
say
did some
smirking.
heavily drinking with a bloke called Goodney. He got one bad knee and one good knee anyway.
I'm sorry, sir. Who are you?
My name's Stan.
Stan, nice to meet you.
Yeah, this is my friend Rudy.
Hi, Rudy.
He just sort of looks up from his sort of, he's like leaning against the bar. He looks up cross-eyed at you, and then his head hits the bar again.
Okay, nice to meet you.
Indeed, yeah. What are you doing here?
Partaking in refreshments like you.
You sound like a hardy group of fellows. Would you like any help?
No, we're not really up to anything at the moment. So, but, we'll keep you in mind. We'll keep you in mind.
Yeah, that'll be good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice to speak to you, Stan. We're going to go over here now.
Yeah.
And thank you.
Absolutely.
And
Are you sure that we can't help you?
Not right now. Not right now. And Warren's walking backwards and giving him a curt bow and going to sit with Hagen because he feels uncomfortable talking to his dirty human. And then he goes and sits down next to Hagen.
Okay.
Hagen looks over at Johan and goes, were you successful in preparing the carriage or the coach?
How far did I get along with that, Jim?
Yeah, you've completed it. It doesn't look very
Refined?
Refined, yeah, that's exactly the word I'm looking at. It doesn't look very refined, but you've definitely screwed large lumps of metal onto the doors and attached sort of locks and things to it. It's
that was on
almost
the
a bit of
inside.
it's almost to look at a sort of a patchwork engineering skill masterclass. This coach now.
It would be better if I'd have had more time.
Yeah,
A day isn't
you've
much
made this
preparation
real.
time.
You've made this really nice Y piece of metal at the top that someone who was riding next to the driver and was facing backwards could rest a musket on, and instead of you could aim down it. Yeah. And,
Now, if only we had a musket.
Yeah, it probably wouldn't be no good rest an arrow on when you fired it, but no, it's fairly well armoured. The original coach you had was made for a team of 2 horses, but with all the extra weights that you've put onto this thing, you're going to need 4 horses to pull this big bad boy. And you've come up with the name Four Winds Travel Corporation. Your teacher did. Apparently, when he was younger, he travelled to Ubersreik on this coach company that was called the Four Winds Merchants, and he sort of etched the name into a big piece of iron that you've attached to the door.
Yeah, there's a few modifications to it which will help us in keeping a lower profile.
Yeah.
As well as keeping the passenger safe yet comfortable.
Oh, that sounds
He's
great.
got this really good gadget that he presses a button and the number plate sort of folds over into another. No, not really.
There's number
So
plates
we've
on these
become-
things?
And is the driver like bald and muscular?
Yeah, and he has metal teeth. No.
I was more thinking like the driver would be sort of this old guy in a suit with the cap and
Big mutton
fine.
chops. Yeah.
I was thinking A-team.
I was thinking Penelope.
See, I was thinking transporter, so it goes. We're all thinking different things. I'm thinking Jason Statham transporter.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah,
I
I was going
was-
to mention
I
the
was going
cello
full-on
and
Thunderbirds.
everything, but that's Airwolf.
Don't tell them about the rocket launcher.
Yes.
At that point where you're talking,
Anyway.
a guardsman sort of rushes in, and Carolyn, were you going back to the inn now? I believe you were, weren't you?
Yeah. Well, after I'd done the other thing and then coming back, so let me know when
Yeah,
I get there. So
Carolyn walks in, closely followed by this guard who's out of breath, and he sort of stands in the doorway, catching his breath.
I'm going to pause and look to him.
You recognise it as one of the guards that was at the lady's house.
Yeah.
Mistress Carolyn,
Yeah.
we need to make a move like as soon as we can. Things are happening quicker than we realised.
Okay, I'll tell people. You get back and make sure there's something for us to move.
Okay.
Come over to the rest of them, looking bone tired. Looks around the common room where everyone else is there and just comes over, looks around the common. Let's go upstairs. We need to talk now.
Marin is playing a lute, not quite as badly as before, but still not quite as well as he should.
There's still a couple of halflings next to you tapping their foot.
Oh, I'm going to miss my halfling fan club.
Carefully
Why?
pack
What are
the
you going to do with them?
bits I was working on away.
I was going to say carefully pack them halflings there. Thought you were suggesting Ilmarin brings a few pounds with him in a suitcase.
Maybe you could shrink a couple with some warp stone.
Or not.
Could always try.
Pocket halflings.
So, yes, Carolyn will get all the others to come, hopefully without actually needing to raise her voice or anything. Okay, so...
Before Umaran goes up the stairs, he's going to look around. Are the fake Tillians in there, or the Tillians in there? If they are real Tillians. Does there appear to be anyone watching us or following us?
It doesn't, no.
Okay.
Got sixth sense as well, don't you?
I do indeed have sixth sense. That's why I
Quite
was
good at
asking.
spotting that shit.
Yeah.
So yeah, Carolyn will head up the stairs and go to the room that they've got up there. So, apparently everything's gone wrong, and we
As is
need to
tradition.
move as soon as possible. About an hour ago, it was we need to move tonight, but the guard you saw at the door was saying we need to move as soon as possible.
Oh, that's
What?
a shame. I could have used another day to work on the
We don't have
Hagen
another day.
gets up.
stuff.
Hagen starts putting on his
That's-
armor, packing his bag, and
Also, the next thing is I spoke to the guard captain because I went to try and talk to Von Gebel about this blooming warpstone.
The what?
There was warpstone under the temple, the Ulrich temple. Must have been
would I
what
have-
turned
would
those
I have heard
damn.
of that, Jim? From my
I'll leave
engineering
that.
stuff.
Yeah, I'll leave that up to you. Yeah.
That's dangerous stuff.
Yeah, it must have been what
What
turned
were you
those
doing
damn.
with that?
It was in a casket under the temple. It must have been what turned those damn things into beastmen. That's my guess
those are
anyway.
actually,
But-
those are actually Skaven, Carolyn. Ilmarin educated me on
Really?
that.
Johan just starts laughing.
I'm not even
I-
getting into that. Anyway, point is, it's currently at the Temple of Sigmar, but the Temple of Sigmar is probably marginally less well protected than the Temple of Ulrich right now. By about, well, the only one there who seems to be even semi-competent is probably about 2 years younger even than the Acolyte of Ulrich, who's having to take over there. So the guard captain was saying that probably Ubersreik is not the best place to leave a casket with some warpstone in it.
I know where you're going with this, and I'm already saying no.
I'm with Ilmarin.
You're
This is
not-
not our problem.
You're not the one
This-
with the only... Yeah, okay. I'm not... Yeah. I'm not going to say... I'm, at the moment, passing something along. I have no idea what the right thing to do with this is, but honestly,
First
Ubersreik
off-
is about to go to shit. And
First off,
I don't
most
think it's going
important
to get
about
done
that
as properly.
request. Most important thing about that request, and you can see like he's getting really articulated and waving his hands around. We have a wizard in our company, and no offense, Gerhardt, but wizards should be nowhere near Warpstone. Absolutely nowhere near it. Like literally, his Warpstone, and Gerhardt should be on the other side of the Empire. Like
Do I
that's
have any idea where the warpstone is? Like, are you holding a box while you're talking, or what?
No,
no.
I'm
The
talking
Warpstone is in the
still.
temple.
I've said that it's at the Temple of Sigmar.
Yeah.
Then I'm not panicked and pressed against a wall.
So I think we're in an accord. We're not taking the warpstone. We'll go get the lady and get her out
We're
of
not equipped
Ubersreik.
to carry that kind of material. I'd need time to craft lead boxes within lead boxes.
It appears
It's
to be
currently in a
container.
lead box, but
No,
I
it's
am
not enough.
Fine. I'm definitely not
You need more lead boxes
sure. Whatever. I'm not
with mechanical
arguing.
locks.
I'm not
We've gotta-
arguing
yeah.
this one past you. I just wanted to raise it. Everyone's in agreement that we don't want it. Fine, done.
Yes.
How
One problem.
How quickly is as soon as possible for us getting moving?
Well, the
I can
coach.
be.
I mean,
I can-
it can move. It can move. It'll look a bit rough, but the inside's ready.
So we just need 4 horses. We need to get our own horses out of the stables in
Well,
less than an
I-
hour.
I'm happy to travel in or on the coach, and they can use my horse as one of them. It's already got 2.
Yeah. How many horses did we bring back? I can't even remember.
1 each.
Wait, 1 each.
Apart from the dwarf.
Awesome.
Who had his cart?
Well, you might as well attach mine to it because I don't know how to ride anyway.
All right. It sounds like we've got our marching orders then.
Hagen, if you wouldn't mind helping me get the horses to where we need to get them.
Plan was to head north because south is where the Bretonians are.
Where are they going to meet us?
I think we're going up to her house.
I see.
Subtlety may have gone out the window.
Let's get to it.
I mean, the original plan was to go up to the house at like some point after midnight, where you can at least pretend you're being subtle. But given that I've now had a call of, that was one of the guys who was up at the house and has just come and said as soon as possible. I think it's just get gone.
Hagen's already walking downstairs. He's like, I've got my marching orders. I'm done.
Yeah.
You all leave your rooms and you can hear a very loud snoring noise.
Mordek.
Do I end up carrying Mordek?
He's face down on his bed and he's got his arm round the biggest barrel of beer that you've seen for a long time.
Okay.
We'll pick him up. We'll come back for this. Nothing's going to happen to him while he's asleep. Even if someone wanted to kidnap him, he's far too heavy.
Hold on, we've got a cart. We've got
dump
him in the cart.
We've got his cart. So
yeah.
I'll take the barrel and hand that to Hagen, and I'll pick up Mordek.
Hagen drops the barrel. He's like, we're not taking the barrel. He's got to sober up.
You can explain that to Mordek.
That I will.
You go down to where the horses should be, and they are there, and they've all been brushed down. They've all been cleaned. The manes have been plaited, especially yours, Hagen. Your horse looks absolutely pristine. You've not seen it look this good for a while.
It's been tending to the horses so much.
Standing next to Hagen's horse is a red-headed, curly-haired young lad. Yeah, who looks a little bit wild-eyed. You remember him as the boy that called himself Anders Hummels, your the guy, the lad that was trying to make himself your squire.
Those of us who were there, do you?
Anders, I had almost forgotten that you were here. I see that you've taken good care of the horses.
Yeah, I've slept here for 2 nights, sir. Made sure that no one went near her.
Well, saddle up. He's apparently perhaps my squire. He was my uncle's squire, and he has come to seek service. So, because I'd rather have him with us than on his own, he'll be coming with us. At least for now.
Fine.
Actually, breaking character
eyes.
Shouldn't that be the case with the warpstone as well? You'd rather have it with you than leave it here?
No.
Okay. Right.
Ilmarin's eyes squint at this young lad.
And as soon as you squint at him, he sort of gains an absolute barrel full of attitude. And he puffs his chest out and his arms come up at the side. And he seems to be just sort of pushing his arms out to the side like that.
Anders, what in the name of the gods are you doing?
He's starting, sir.
Anders, this is my companion, Ilmarin. You will address him as sir, and you will treat him with the respect you treat a knight of Ulrich.
And Ilmarin gives him a curt bow, but then looks at Hagen. Remember what I said about Magnet last night?
I know. And you may not be wrong, Ilmarin. It is a concern of mine as well. But Anders, saddle the horses that will be ridden. Prepare the others for the carriage.
Missed a conversation about magnets.
Damn. Carolyn, as she just kind of very tired voice, as she just walks past towards the horse that is apparently now hers, because by right of stealing it from the Bretonians, will say to the kid, if you're another one of those shape-shifting bastards, just leave. Otherwise, you're just going to go the same way as the last one. If you're not, welcome to the party.
Welcome to
He
the
looks
party,
really
pal.
confused.
Of course he does. He was either a shape-shifting bastard who is making a good pretense
And
of being confused, or he is a very confused kid.
As you whisper this to him, he looks a little bit shocked, and his eyes sort of widen a little bit, and he looks over to where Hagen is, and once he realises that Hagen isn't watching, he sort of gains your eyesight again and just lifts his coat open like that, and inside is a dagger. And he just shuts his coat again.
Carolyn is wearing full chainmail, carrying a shield and a hammer.
Yeah.
She just looks at him completely actually, you're looking at him confused more than anything else. No.
Someone brought a knife to a gunfight.
Yeah, something like that. What are you? Whatever. And gets on the horse. You're not even dignifying him with like much response beyond.
He looks very satisfied with himself as you get on there. And he gets on his horse, which is about dead. Yeah, it's definitely bottom of the barrel when it comes to horses, or maybe even donkeys. Even it's quite a bit of a nag.
Yeah,
Anders, you're not going to be riding on horseback. You'll be on top of the carriage.
Actually, we need someone to steer the cart because Mordek's out cold.
Don't trust him to steer the cart. I think that's better set in someone else's hands. Anders will be riding on the cart where I can keep an eye on him from horseback.
Indeed, sir. I thought you wanted me to run along the coach, sir. I would happily do that.
Well, we may discuss your training.
What coach are we talking about, sir? It's a cart, not a coach.
You'll see.
Not your concern, Anders.
Okay.
You're going to be my squire. Follow orders and learn.
Indeed.
So, in this system, do you need a skill to drive a car? I mean, you're going to need a skill to negotiate actual.
That's the
driving when it's dramatic.
Yeah,
but I'm thinking
to start,
getting the horses to go in the right, walk along a road and stop in the right place. Is that required?
You'd know the basics to make it move, but if you had to sort of turn it at speed
tightly
or
and all that kind of stuff, absolutely.
Anything more than a canter, you're going to be in trouble.
Yeah. That's kind of.
Or maybe even stop. Yeah.
Stop in a hurry. Yeah, that's kind of what I was assuming. It would be something like you don't really need the skill to just make a car go roughly in a direction, providing. Yeah. But it probably won't be a very good. It probably won't be a very smooth ride for anyone else. Just thinking that probably the only person who might have the skill is Mordek.
Unconscious.
Oh, do you know how to drive a cart? Awesome! You do the driving then.
I like how you didn't tell him that early on in his ramblings. You just waited till he was done.
Awesome. That's cool.
Ilmarin has a beautiful white steed. He's getting on that.
Oh,
and
right,
it looks even prettier if it's all of its mane plaited.
You're fine. You get on your.
Have you got a side plait?
Yeah, he specifically stole a white horse from the Bretonians because so
Whatever. Okay, if no one else is doing it, I will drive the cart very inexpertly.
Anders puts his hand up. I know how to drive a cart.
See, I told you knew how to drive a cart.
All right, Anders, if you can drive a cart, show me what you can do.
Go for it.
Okay.
I'll shift over. Be sitting next to him.
And he wanders up and down where the horse is, and he sort of looks, and he keeps looking up at you for approval, maybe. And he sort of taps the horse on the neck.
Is this the equivalent of a kick in a tyre?
Well done, Anders. The horses look well, and we need
he grabs
to be
hold
off.
of either side of the horse's bit, and he leans back and pulls it. and it sort of stumbles forward, and then it sort of tries to walk with it. And then once it's going sort of moving, he sort of runs and jumps on the cart, and it stops.
Anders, get out of the cart.
Okay. Sorry, sir.
Hitch the horse to the cart. Someone else drive.
Shall I sit back up on the...
Yes, back up. Yes.
Well, am I sitting in the cart, sir, or will I be sitting on this coach? Where is the coach, sir?
You'll see.
You'll see when we get there, Anders.
Okay, in which case we will go back to the original plan of Carolyn very inexpertly driving this cart.
Slowly.
There is a chance.
Is it just us going somewhere, sir? Is it just us going somewhere, sir?
Anders?
Yes, sir.
Mouth shut, ears open. Follow orders or stay here in Ubersreik.
I'm just very excitable, sir.
You'll learn better than to be excitable.
And Martin turns around very seriously and goes, "Excitable gets dead." Turns back around. He's like, "Hagen, that was good, right?"
That was good. That was you. Spot on. Spot on.
And as you travel up the road, you just happen to glance over at Anders as you're sort of going up the road, and he's showing you the inside of his coach at some point. You can't really see what's going on because it's moving too much, but he has got this. Anyway,
he's got something inside his coat that he really wants to show you. No, first we were going to pick up the coach.
Yeah, we are.
Okay.
So I'm letting Johan tell me where to go because I don't even know where this thing is.
Yeah. Johan will direct you as we go.
And I imagine every time you hit a bump, you hear.
Yeah, something like that.
You notice that Gunter and Franz are on the cart with you as well.
Yeah,
they've clambered on. They seem to have like the old style military bags, the big long bags, the old also.
Yeah.
They've got sort of one of them made out of leather each.
Is that what they call it, a Bergen?
Yeah, a Bergen.
No, it's not like a.
They're the backpacks.
Not a rucksack. Yeah, it's just like a big long.
I know what you
bag,
mean. The service bags.
almost like a punch
service bag, duffel bag. Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. And they seem to have one of them with them, each, and they carry it up.
Imarin sort of pulls alongside Gerhardt and goes, "For a mission that's supposed to be secret, there seems to be a lot of people with us."
Yeah, people we don't know as well, which is a strange part.
Well, these two were always going with us. Anders, we'll see.
I don't know. Should someone go ahead and get Lady Nact ready for all of this? Because she's not going to appreciate us turn up on her doorstep and go, "Let's go, let's go, let's go." You know what nobility's like.
I get the impression that she's going to be ready.
Okay.
There's no harm in what Eltharin's saying. I actually agree with him. I think.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I shall gallop ahead to the lady's house and have her.
Do you want to go with them, Hagen? I think
Aye.
react better to.
Good point.
And
Anders-
someone like yourself.
Anders, stay here. Johann von Erfender you will follow his orders as if you would follow my own. Or better.
Sir, absolutely, sir. Could I just ask a quick question, sir?
One question.
What will he look like and how will I know it's him?
He's right there.
Oh, okay. Mr. Earthfinder.
That's Sir von Erfinder.
Yeah, he's a noble.
And with that, Hagen turns his horse and he goes, "Let's go, Elmarin. I feel too crappy for this day to get any worse."
I second this.
So, you trot up to the lady's house. There are 5 ready horses outside, and there's someone just sort of keeping them steady. But one looks better than the others. But yeah, they're inside, and you go into the house, and the lady's there, ready to go. Her bags are shipped out by 2 guards, and they're put on the inside of the coach. Underneath the coach, there's like a bit of a racking as well that can get him under, and on top of the coach as well.
Milady, we are the carriage is behind us and on its way, and we are ready to escort you out of the north gate.
Sorry, I forgot that bit, didn't I? So they get put on the cart. Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
no, they get loaded. I think they were going ahead to sort of announce and make sure that the lady's ready, so we could rock up with the coach
outside the house. Yes,
that
I meant
good.
to say that all along.
Yeah, we totally meant to say that. Yeah.
And
absolutely.
Everyone else clearly just misheard you.
Ilmarin is using his etiquette nobles and his very suave. Because I'm looking at all my talents right now, to keep the Lady Nat calm. Because I imagine it's a very, very stressful time for her. He's speaking in calm, noble, voices and keeping her nice and calm while all this is going on.
Yeah, make me a roll.
A charm roll? Shall I go for a charm roll?
Yeah, make a charm roll.
Okay, let's not do that. Do you know what? I'm going to spend a fortune. I'm going to spend a fortune point to just get a success.
Okay. Okay. You even get a little giggle out of her at one point, and an approving smile. And she feels a little bit better because someone, and she looks also over at Hagen as well. And he's a knight, even though he's a little bit rough around the edges. With his beard and everything, unkempt or whatever it is.
And Imara makes a little joke and goes, "Well, he is from Midland, Your Grace."
That is true, milady. He is not wrong. I am working on my rough edges, but Ilmarin has yet to file them all off.
Would that I could, Hagen. Would that I could.
We work with what we can, right, my friend?
It's very true. And hopefully she now feels more calm in our presence.
Okay. So at the warehouse, the wagon, the coach is waiting there. The horses are also waiting there being fed at the moment. As soon as you get into the warehouse, Anders jumps off and gets straight at it, preparing the horses, getting them attached to the coach, and makes himself quite useful actually. But all the time he's asking questions.
He's not getting many answers from me.
Yeah. Oh, why didn't you colour the metal blue, or or maybe red? Why didn't it look red? Better red, or how about yellow?
Anders, be quiet.
Okay, sir.
So when I get there, I'll obviously give the coach.
Are you a famous finder, or are you the last of the finders, or are there some other? Does your family, keep themselves to themselves, sort of thing, or
They spend their time doing what they should be doing, looking after the Emperor's interests.
Oh, okay.
I'll be kind of looking over the coach before going in to collect some items that I'd prepared for myself.
Yeah, you realise that you've left a couple of sharp edges on things, and you sort of put a bit of cloth over it, sort of thing, and knock it in a little bit with one of your small little hammers. But it's serviceable. It'll do. It'll do the job. It'll do the job better than a normal coach. You might find a little bit of, if you get stuck in a bog, you might struggle a little.
The addition of the suspension will assist with that.
Okay. I like it. And you have put thicker wheels on. Yeah.
Yep. It's got off-roading wheels with suspension. The inside of it is very luxuriously done.
Okay. And
even though you can see a few bolt holes where I've clearly bolted something to the inside of the coach.
Okay. Anders asks you what the two hanging fairy dice are hanging from the ceiling.
They're for luck.
Yeah, and he gets his coach ready, and you're soon ready to ride it out the warehouse, which you do, and head over to the lady's house.
Is there any chance of us waping up Mordek to drive this thing? Because he's probably at least
He's in a state. He's absolutely smashed.
Okay, no, he's not going to be no better than the rest of us at the moment.
Mm.
Sober, he's probably better than better. Than
Yeah, it's all right. I'll drive.
All right, dwarves sober. Okay. You'll be fine. I've got a feeling.
I kind of reach into the box in front and pull out a hat. A big wide-brimmed leather hat.
Okay. Wow. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You get on, and as soon as the coach gets near, these guards go into sort of auto drive, and they get the horses ready.
I'll bring the wagon up behind.
Yeah.
So we'll have both of them, and we can load stuff on the wagon. I'm thinking, we've got 9 of us, plus the lady, plus any guards she wants. She is coming with her. I don't know whether there are any, but there's 9 of us before we add the lady now. I don't think we're all fitting on the coach. At least we're not all fitting on the coach if no one wants. If people don't want to have the lady complaining the entire way.
Yeah, I don't think it was ever the plan.
Yeah. There's 2 guards that are dressed in plain leathers, and they climb up onto the front of the coach when it gets near. They both seem to be carrying gunpowder weapons. Okay.
Hey.
And the 4 other guards climb onto horses there, and the guard's captain, she climbs onto the horse at the front. Shall we?
Sure, I will
Aye.
leave the lady.
Ilmarin waves at the guard captain.
I'm going to hop down, and if I get a moment, I'm just going to quickly head over to the guards captain and just say, the others elected not to bring the other package.
Okay, well, we've not got time to worry about it now, so we'll have to leave it in the
Just
safe
letting you
hands
know.
of the high priest.
Right. And then she'll head back over to the car. But just want to make sure the guard captain knows, so she can do whatever it is she sees fit to do.
Okay.
Which at the moment apparently is nothing, which is fine. But I'm giving her the responsibility.
Okay, and the horses set off and leave via the gate.
Yeah.
Okay. So you head off down the road, and day becomes night, and night becomes day, and before you know it, you've travelled about 3 days, quite quietly. Okay. And it's early morning on the 4th day. And
question.
yes,
Can we get any more recovery rolls to heal some more of those wounds that I believe
of course,
I am?
Absolutely. Every day that is there, you can have some recovery rolls.
I didn't take a recovery roll for the night I took an all-nighter because I figured that I probably wasn't going to get one. But
So enough exercise and all that.
All right, I'm up to full after the first night.
Yep, I'm definitely up to full. I needed 3, I got 9.
Okay.
So I assume did the guards just escort us to the gates, or are they actually coming with us?
No, they're coming with you. Yeah.
Ilmarin's gonna be pestering the guard captain.
Okay.
Trying to explain, we got off on the wrong foot. It was a bad day. You caught me on a bad day. I'm not normally like grumpy, like a dwarf. Who's still
Probably be tinkering with things the entire journey.
I'm keeping a very close eye on my new squire, Anders.
Oh, Ilmarin is on absolute observation mode as well. So like even the twitchiest hedge, like.
And I've gone up to each one of our companions one at a time quietly over the first few days while we were traveling and said, listen, I have no idea who this kid is. I don't know if it's legitimate. If he does anything wrong, put him down. If it looks like he is not who he says he is, put him down.
We've become a paranoid bunch, haven't we?
Yep.
With good reason.
Something to do with all those shape-shifting monsters we keep encountering.
A bunch of people that feed us human legs.
To be fair, the last shape-shifting monster, I did a fair job of just hitting until it fell over, so...
So, the morning of the 4th day,
Yeah.
you're travelling along the road, and you see a figure in the road, and it seems to be jumping up and down and waving its arms. And as you get closer, it's shouting for help. Help! Help, please! Help me! Help! 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 Help!
I imagine we probably all kind of looked at the guard captain. What's she doing?
I'm here to look after
Right.
the lady. Yeah.
Hold the cart here. We'll investigate. Johan, can you keep us covered?
Yes, Roger. Yes.
Excellent. Yeah, sure. Just hang on. Puts things away. Goes in over to the coach. Opens the box. Slides out this big old sheet of leather and whooshing. But it's like kind of jingling noise. It's almost like there's chainmail within. So he slides on what we would think of as a poncho-looking thing.
Very cool.
Leather poncho.
And leather armoured poncho.
You needed a big chunk of that iron that you'd put on thing and a bit of string around your neck. So, yeah.
It's all right. One day
And
I'll
the bad
get a
guys
safe
would always shoot for your heart. Yeah.
And Hagen will turn to Amaran and Carolyn and go, shall we ride into this trap?
Well, I don't want to know you said that.
Sure, let's go see let's go hit a trap with a hammer. Or a pair of hammers.
So Hagen's walking his horse forward, scanning on either side of the road, trying to see if there's anything
Ilmarin's
else.
hanging just behind, being very...
He seems to be stood on the main road, but also on the junction of a road that seems a lot less travelled, that disappears into the forest.
I'm going to be on Hagen's left, because then my shield's towards anything attacking from the outside, not Hagen.
Makes
Okay.
sense.
So
Not expecting you to hit me.
there is a young man who he looks muddied. He looks he hasn't got the best of clothes on. He's wearing no boots, and he's jumping up and down. Help me, sirs, please help me.
What is your problem, young man?
Well, my town, it keeps getting raided, and we need someone to come and help. Yeah, they've took my mom. Please help.
Isn't that a common occurrence in this empire?
Aye, Ilmarin, it does happen from time to time, especially with the Bretonians on our hills. Boy, where is your town?
It'll be the children. It's a few minutes up the path, sir. I offer you no harm.
Who raided your town?
Some greenskins, sir.
When?
Well, it's got worse. There seems to be more of them around. But it's just getting worse and worse and worse. They keep coming and taking more and more.
Does Mordek grunt and grumble in his sleep?
He barks.
Mordek's just slept for like a week solid, yeah.
Ilmarin, perhaps you could discuss that with our passenger and see what they wish to do. While I keep an eye on the situation here.
Okay. I mean, Hagen, quickly, just come here so we can talk while I appreciate that you might want to help other humans, but we have a mission. We have a mission. And also, as you said, the Bretonians could be on our hills.
I absolutely know we're going to bypass this town, but the lady should be made aware of the citizens' concerns.
Yeah, as you wish. I gallop back to the thing and I give the door a gentle knock. And I wait for the lady to answer the door.
Yes.
My lady, I wish to make you aware of a situation. There's a small town nearby that's been raided by greenskins, and there's a citizen asking for our assistance.
Oh, let's go and help him then.
As you wish, Your Grace. And I go back, and as I pass the guard captain, I was like, we're taking a detour. And I go back to
she
Hagen.
rolls her eyes.
Yeah. And I'll go back to Hagen and I go, Hagen, the lady has deemed it necessary to assist this citizen.
Hagen, for a second just looks dumb, just dumbstruck. He's like, by the lady's will and Ulrich, lead on, boy.
They're there at the moment, sirs. I managed to get away out the back. I don't know who they took. They might have took my sister, but they got hold of my mom.
In which case, I guess we head out and we leave the coach here.
Don't suggest we leave the coach unattended.
We'll
I'm not saying
speed,
unattended.
boy.
There's 5 guards with it.
I think it's best if the coach is armoured, said the guy's captain,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
we have like my best men with us. Yeah, so I think we'll be okay.
All right, Anders,
And the
you're
young
with
lad
us.
sort of runs off at the front, and he keeps like over this way.
Okay. When we... yeah.
Anders, sit a horse. We're charging.
I'm not fighting on horseback, just saying. I would fall off.
So, as you get close to the village, you sort of moving quite quickly. You can see there's some milling about, and it's quite sort of a large sort of settlement of houses. It looks quite sort of basic though. But as you sort of get close, you realise that from the other side there looks like quite a lot of commotion, possibly a lot of greenskins.
What do my elven eyes see?
There's a lot of creatures the other side of this village, but they seem to be back within the woods. Not like ambush, they just seem to be back there because it's as if the front party has come to get something.
Are there any actual greenskins in the village?
Yeah, there looks like there's a few. There's a big sort of, probably a mob of about 50 humans that have sort of been all together, and there's greenskins sort of moving amongst them. Mainly little goblins, and yeah, you can sort of see them milling around the outside of them. Every now and again, they'll slap one of the humans, jump up and sort of give them a slap, and so they're almost herding them like sheep.
How many... is there anything resembling any kind of defensive line around this village?
No, not at all. There looks like there used to be some sort of fence and things, but it's been smashed down.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
There's a couple of towers there still that they're up, but the top of them has been sort of broken and pushed over.
Yeah, okay.
Jim, I rolled an observation roll, a perception roll,
Yes.
+3 success levels. Can I see any larger greenskins?
There's one big green skin in the middle, and he seems to be barking orders round. And he looks covered in armour.
Johan!
And there is sort of a big sort of cart with a big tarpaulin pulled across the top of it, and then there's another cart where they're sort of herding some of the humans onto the back of this cart.
That bunch of armour he's wearing, is it made of metal?
It is indeed made of metal.
So Johan and Gerhardt are going to show this orc some yes, I imagine.
Yeah, you can hear him. He's going, yeah, get that one there, yeah, and get that one over there. And
How far out are we?
It feels wrong when we have more Daka than the orcs.
And what time is it? What time of day?
It's about midday now. But as you get closer, you see him look up, and there's a couple more orcs sort of look up in your direction, but they don't seem to be getting ready for attack. They just seem to ready themselves.
I'm getting off my horse.
Okay.
So
I do not want to be
orcs
in a
are
fight. with
running
a
at
horse.
us. This is bizarre.
You see him, this big orc that's sort of darker in colour, and he sort of turns around to one of them, and this other orc, it's something that you've never heard of before. He sort of puts up this stick with a white rag on it,
How far out are we now?
You're about charging distance to the edge of the town.
Okay.
I think this is a really bad idea.
And he's waving this big stick there. Can we kill him now, boss? Can we kill him? He's just shouting, nah, the big boss told us not to kill. Yeah, we do what he says.
Oh, goody. This isn't even
I
the
look
larger
over-
part of this group.
I look over at Elmarin and I go, charge.
I mean, Hagen, that's generally your answer to most things.
It is my way. And so Elmarin puts a spur to horse and
I think you mean
charges.
Hagen.
I was going to say, Ilmarin
Did you
never
charge in?
Oh, God,
Ilmarin
Put
has
his nose
no-
out in front.
And the elf
And-
rides off. There you go.
Ilmarin, not knowing if he knows how to fight from horseback, draws his bow and at least knows he can fire his bow from horseback, but he's not sure how good it is going to be.
I'm on foot because
He's not galloping in though. At the moment, he's kind of
So-
like,
This big orc leans down and he picks a small human up by the head, and he pulls what looks like a big hatchet dagger out, and he sort of holds it to the kids, to this small human child's head. Stop!
Hagen reins his horse up and he goes, let the boy go, let the child go, let the humans go, and leave human lands now.
What say we fight for it?
Fair enough. We'll fight you.
get up,
No,
get up.
why don't you fight? Why don't you
Zap him.
two
Zap
blokes
him.
who want to fight?
We don't actually want to fight, but since you're attempting to kidnap, steal, and or kill everyone in this village, we're sort
Their
of
food.
committed. That's enough. He's like, all right, we'll fight.
I'm gonna cast
Who's your two
You're casting
strongest?
Oh,
blast at the big guy. He goes, right, we'll fight for it.
And Ilmarin's going, blast
Yes.
him, blast him
Yeah,
now,
Ilmarin's
blast him
literally
now.
going, blast him. I'm like,
So before we've even
I'll give you a free blast.
finished the talking, this magic.
oh yeah. As soon as that goes off,
Yeah, Ilmarin's also got an arrow sort of knocked ready to go as well.
Or if this works well, it's going to be okay. We'll fight for it. Or orc boss falls over, and let the pandemonium commence.
We believe in you, Gerhard.
Do it.
I just realized I can't cast blast. I'd have to channel blast.
Well, let's say
Okay,
you
you start
channel
channeling.
secretly.
Or I
Though,
could, or I could cast
Choose.
dark, but no, I will start channeling.
Channel it.
Choose your biggest and strongest.
Mordek's asleep.
And he walks. He's still got this child, but he walks off behind a house back to where his people are. Get the
Right.
brothers out! He shouts.
Fortune point that, I think.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh my God, come on, man.
Ah well. Oh wait. Oh, I never used an ingredient. Let's see what. Did I get a miscut?
Oof.
You didn't get miscut.
it's all right. They're still messing around. You've got more time to channel.
Yeah.
Okay, get the brothers out! And this big tarpaulin comes across, and these two big hulking figures with more tarpaulin get shoved off, and there's these little sort of goblins with sticks that are attached to the heads of these bigger creatures, and they're sort of herding them in.
They have a cave troll.
And then one of them sort of climbs up and takes this big wooden helmet off, and they've got this big collar on, and there's two nasty looking trolls there.
Damn.
And Ilmarin almost smiles and goes, do you remember how our journey to Ubersreik started like this?
I do, my friend.
seems like such a long
Who's
time
going to
ago.
be fighting the troll twins? 1 and 5.
Today, Gerhard, today, zap him.
Do I have time to cast or channel again?
Which we're still in.
Yeah, I think they've
And
been.
this
Laughing a
big
while.
troll with 1 painted down the middle of it, and there's another big troll with 5 painted down it.
Does it look like the trolls would like try to smash them if they got loose?
Well, they were sort of grouchy. And then they tied. They sort of smelt human with all the little sort of humans milling around in the village, and they sort of copped you lot as well. And they're like,
Fortune point.
Oh my
I'll
god!
fortune point that, will I?
Yeah, I hope so. Because
Are you
major
using
miscast.
Shit.
Jesus Christ! Oh my god!
Oh my days!
You haven't
no.
rolled below an 80.
Oh man.
I'm just going to see what it
At
was.
least it's not a major miscast.
Oh, look, you. What's that? You
Oh, that's not
gabble
too bad.
unintelligible.
I would basically not be able
Crikey.
to do anything for 5 rounds because
Yeah.
I should be able to talk. So.
Good.
Please
Yes.
imagine.
Yeah. You do not want a major miscast.
There's a few sparks comes out as he's trying to channel, and you realise that you've got a little bit of gunpowder on you, and you move away from him, Johan. Yeah, as he starts sparking a little bit.
It's all right.
Human wizards. So
My new
unreliable.
protective armor will help.
I mean, that wouldn't, wizard or not, those rolls wouldn't work for anyone.
No.
No.
Yes, but let's assume I'm talking about a high elf mage who probably knows a thing or two.
Which ones of yous is gonna fight 1 and 5?
Right. Yes. I'll fight. Can anybody wake Mordek up?
Can't believe this punk isn't going to fight himself.
Yeah. Orcs are always cowards.
Let's make a thing. Yeah, let's make a thing. Make a thing. And they sort of move the people out the way, and one of the orcs sort of wanders in with a little goblin, and they start to sort of
We're gonna
draw a
need some
line into the ground.
fire.
Yeah, and it's sort of it looks like they're trying to draw something on the floor, but it goes off in one thing and out the other way, and that's not a thing. A thing's got like circle bits and thing. Yeah, a thing.
Shall we, given it's getting on a bit, maybe call it there and give Mordek a chance to join in?
Absolutely.
Not that Carolyn
And
wouldn't be
but
willing
we
to,
will-
but
We will leave it as they eventually join this ring together. Yeah, the thing. Yeah. And there's a lot of cheering going on and shouting. And we shall indeed leave it there.
okay.
Okay, so thank you everybody for watching. And next week we shall all get together for the season finale of Once Upon a Time in the Old World.
Or
Season
we
1.
will die.
Oh, maybe
It'll
not.
be the season
you know.
finale one way or the other. It'll either be the season finale or the series finale.
It all depends whether you fight fair or not, don't it, to be fair?
No,
Well,
no.
to not be
it's
fair.
fine to not fight fair.
Either become troll slayers or troll food. One of the two.
It all depends whether the wizard blows his party up or not. That's what it all
the wizard actually manages to cast anything.
depends.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so we'll leave it there, guys. Thank you very much for joining us. It's been an absolute pleasure again. And we shall see you next week.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Cheers.
Oh, I didn't.